Stupid Natural Podcast is back. Woo!
Was hoping it was canceled.
Cancel forever. Gotta try it.
Done.
So, this week's episode was the 200th episode, fan fiction. What'd you think?
It's worse than any episode we've seen ever.
Tr- Truly a low point.
Ugh. Yeah,
It-
this was really good.
yeah, it was great. This is the first time I think in couple years that I don't have anything bad to say about an episode.
It's the first time I think they've done a real, mostly comedy one in a while either.
hmm
Because, the closest thing last year was that Metatron thing, which was torturing people.
Last year they had the dog one too, though, right? Where Dean could talk to
Oh, yeah.
dogs. But that one wasn't as strong. I don't think they really executed it
Yeah.
as well as they
This
could
one,
have.
yeah, they didn't at all. This one, felt like an older one. It seemed like a lot of those comedy music cues hadn't been in Supernatural for a while. Because I remember always thinking about those happening during inappropriate times. And I hadn't thought of that in a while because they hadn't played them.
Well, another thing I think,
Just the do 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 do.
well, I think another thing that helped is like last week, there was no Crowley or Castiel or angels or demons or nothing. Like, I mean, obviously they had the references, but it didn't. They didn't talk about like the angels and the demons, and that helped a lot because it just wasn't about that same stuff.
Oh yeah, it's nice when that's not in there. I wouldn't have minded if Castiel was around for some of it, like saw the play though, and it's like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
ugh.
Well, I don't have a problem with Castiel. It's just the angels are boring,
Oh yeah, I
and
know.
he's just tied so much to them that it's just kind of
Yeah,
better if he's not there.
yeah, he barely breaks away from it at this point.
Yeah, which is a shame. But I liked how they were really self-aware with it, but it didn't go into like insulting territory. It could have very easily, I think, gone into like fans are stupid kind of thing. But
Yeah, I did like when they're bringing up the the Dean's Steele stuff, and then
Yeah,
Dean just gives
Destiel.
this look at the camera, and it's like, really?
I was reading about it. I was spoiled on that, and apparently that wasn't scripted. Apparently, he just threw that in. They kept it in there.
Nice.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I mean, normally the break the fourth wall moments are kind of lame, but that was okay. That worked just
Yeah,
fine.
that was
Yeah, all of the references are really good. The highlight for me was the Adam reference.
great. Yeah, it's just gonna get to. It's like they fucking mentioned that. Like it's worth just watching that episode and then freezing once she mentions who it is and the looks on their faces like, oh, fuck, we
I,
forgot something.
well, it's funnier when they first mention it to me when it's just like, who's that?
Yeah,
Who the
who's
hell is
that?
that?
Adam, John's other son. He's stuck in a cage in hell with Lucifer. Oh,
Oh boy. Well,
oops.
well, they had lots of references to better times too, which is why it was fun. They had
Mhm.
like I caught like an Ash in the background. He had the mullet going on.
Oh yeah,
They mentioned Rufus Bobby type.
yeah. Yeah, it's nice to see references to Bobby. It just makes me remember I miss him in the real show.
Yeah, it was really funny. They had their mom. They had the burning mom on the ceiling.
Yeah, singing about that.
Yeah, I loved the Sam torture in this. I mean, they were torturing all of them, but yeah, like,
Yeah,
he just wants to talk about theater, and they
yeah. I was trying to impress her. She's like, I have to go.
come on, Dean would be impressed with this.
He plays with the lights, and they just give him a stare. Sorry.
Anytime they can humiliate Sam, I'm up for it.
Yeah, monster this week was the Sam Squatch.
The Sam Squatch, yeah. Calliope summoned the Sam Squatch. They did another Greek god thing with
Yeah,
Calliope. That's a Greek thing.
that's
Yeah.
good.
It's nice that they explored that a little bit more. It was an
Mm-hmm,
interesting kind of villain.
mm-hmm.
The
You just finished
Samulet.
up. It's nice seeing something that wasn't about angels again.
Uh-huh. The Samulet.
This Samuel.
uh,
Hope Sam keeps calling it that.
mm-hmm.
Samuel.
I liked the songs they did in it. I liked Single Man Tear.
Yes. Yeah. It's like really good humor in this one. So
Well, they were
yeah.
poking fun at the things that they've really have been. There are things that have been issues for a while, but that at least
Yeah.
acknowledging them is nice.
I did like too when Dean was telling the girl about, the stuff she's missing, like all the seasons after Kripke. It's like that's the worst fan fiction I've ever heard. It's kind of, whoa, is that the show admitting something?
I don't think they were, but it's
Yeah,
funnier if it's funnier because it is
it's
that
funnier to
terrible.
think of it that way.
Yeah. They had the return of Chuck at the end,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't know if that means a good thing or a bad thing, because I realized that was just meant as like a wink at the end. I doubt he's really meant to be back, but they did imply that he was God, so
Yeah, he
what
could
up
have
with
some.
that, Chuck?
Yeah, it means he's gonna do something with this angel situation.
I doubt he will. I wish he would,
I don't know. It'd be
but
nice. It's like just fucking end it. Like have God come in and say, "Hey guys, fuck off."
if this was a continuing trend, like last episode, I didn't hate, but there were a lot of issues that they've had from the past about them learning the same lessons over and over and
Yeah,
stuff like that. But
forgetting them immediately and then learning it again.
mhm. But it could have been worse. I didn't hate it, which is a step above what it has been. So I
No,
don't know
this
if
one
they
felt
continue
a
this.
lot more like an older one, which is nice. And no, it's a well executed comedy one, which has been missing for quite a while.
Yeah. Well, the comedy episodes they've had before, like recent ones, they've come off really hollow to me. I
I
think
mean,
we.
yeah, either they weren't that good, like the dog one is kind of like very miss comedy in that, or they don't know what they're doing and they have half the comedy episode be Dean torturing an angel. So
Hmm.
it's like, what? How's this a comedy episode?
Well, they come off really mean spirited, even
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like Doctor Who, they hate the audience.
they hate the audience like Doctor Who. That's a whole nother thing. We'll start a Doctor Pooh podcast or something.
Yeah,
One
and
thing
then
that was
Dean and
notable.
Sam fought the Cybermen, which need human skeletons.
That's a whole
Ah!
other thing.
Ah!
See, we don't have anything to complain about, so we just have to complain about another show.
Yeah.
What what do we do when we can't complain?
Yeah.
One of the things that's notable about this episode too that I liked was that nobody died and nobody was tortured.
Yep.
Notice that, and
Oh, I was just waiting though for like, when she's gonna go show Dean that scarecrow. He just like ties her up to the scarecrow and starts torturing her for information.
tell me what you know.
Dean,
Wah,
what are you
wah.
doing? Good information, Sammy. Oh
The Seinfeld commercial sting.
no!
But and it was an all girls school. So it was a majority of women in the cast in this episode, albeit very small women. And none of them were tortured. That's pretty big for Supernatural to have a cast of mostly women for that episode, and no one was tortured or killed. So I'd say bravo for them. Honestly, I hope it continues like this. I mean, I realize this episode was by itself, so it's not part of the overarching story, whatever that's gonna be. But I hope it kind of continues better. Like it can be better because they did that. So.
Yeah, I just remember how the show used to be a bit when they're doing their new stories.
Hmm. And that's the thing too, because the show can be good. It's not like
No, they
they
just
don't
need
have
to.
anything that they can do. It's not because yeah, it's been running 10 years. and it probably should have not been running 10 years, but they still
Just
can do new things, or they can do things that are still interesting and not
just
moronic.
need Sam and Dean to lighten the fuck up once in a while.
Hmm.
Because when they're just fucking depresso, fucking angst bullshit all the time, it gets draining to watch.
Hmm. Well, sometimes you need a little bit of humiliation for the characters too, not just, like lighten things up. Though that is really, I love that they lighten things up, but you
Yeah,
need to humiliate them a little bit, take them down a peg, because it seems like that. I mean, yeah, they're going through a bunch of terrible shit and everything's awful, but it seems like they're just like
yeah.
they're not held
There's always about
accountable for anything.
yeah, it's about balance with this kind of show,
Yeah.
because it used the other seasons did that a lot better. They could have the really dark episodes, but then you get a kind of good balance with the funnier ones.
Hmm.
And just lately, it's not been that way.
Yeah. Well, because I mean, like depressing things have their place, but it's
Mm-hmm.
there comes a point where it becomes just sort of a chore.
Well, it's just like when you go there all the time,
Yeah.
it doesn't take you anywhere. It's just the mode you're already set at with the show.
Hmm.
It's like, hey, what's gonna happen now? Something even more depressing? Yep, all right.
Yeah,
Like
it's
it kind of
monotonous.
yeah, it doesn't make you feel emotional now. You feel drained instead of feeling something about it.
Hmm.
Like unless they want you to feel drained by watching the show, it's like, fuck, I don't want to watch this show.
Hmm.
Draining the fucking shit out of me. Yeah, just shit all over the place so much.
And then the cyberpunk.
Yeah. Comedy music.
I liked how offended Dean was at the whole thing.
Yeah, it was great. Just in, when he sees the actresses playing him and Sam, they're standing really close and stuff. He's like, no, we're brothers. They're brothers.
Subtext.
Yeah, it's subtext.
Why don't you take a sub step away, guys? Yeah. It was. I mean, yeah. There were points where it probably was just a little tad too self-aware, but that's just a nitpick, really.
I also liked right at the start when they come in with their Mulder and Scully routine, and then they see the actors down there doing the same thing. Sam's like, "Uber," pulls it away.
Well, there was more personality too. Like they seem like actual fucking human beings in this.
Yeah, it seemed more like
They
the
didn't just seem like a
Sam and
couple of
Dean of older seasons.
yeah. They didn't seem like a couple of like asshole Batmans.
Yeah, and if you take the beginning scene of the last episode, it's two in a row where they acted kind of like human beings, at least for a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. That's there's more of a connection. It's very
Yeah,
disconnecting when it's just torture and evil
mopey.
and
Yeah,
mopey. Yeah.
someone else died.
Hmm.
Add them to the list.
Yeah. Well, it seemed.
Hopefully, that's a trend. Like maybe they're starting to become people again.
Mhm. It seemed like this episode was showing respect to the older characters that were in the show, not just Sam and Dean, but like the people that were gone,
Yeah.
kind of reminding us about them without doing cheesy clip show or something, like it was a nice 200th episode.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they had the fake intros. They did
Oh yeah.
they had like the
X
X-Files,
Files,
Supernatural. I don't know if the
Bonanza.
yeah, there was the cake one, but then I don't know if that was a real one or not.
Yeah, I don't know for sure if they use that as a one-time thing or not.
Because I noticed they threw the Christmas one in there too, so it might have been just
Yeah,
a special one.
Supernatural Christmas.
Yeah,
What?
a very supernatural Christmas.
Uh,
Yeah, that was another good one I liked. But yeah, so overall, I got nothing bad to say about this episode. Really, it was fun.
Could have used Grandpa Campbell in
The one character not brought up, and that's okay.
there.
Because fuck Grandpa Campbell. They should have shown
Could
his
have been good.
corpse in the background.
They should have just had him there and like, Screeper Keeble. And they go, yeah, we don't know why he's there.
They should have just had him face down dead in the corner the whole play and never
Yeah.
acknowledged.
It's this dummy. Oh, it's the most pointless character ever, Grandpa Campbell. Like, he was dead and then he came back to life, and we're just like, let's just leave him dead.
He's hanging out with all the cousins and stuff that we don't
Yeah.
talk about anymore.
And the half brothers they leave in hell.
Oh,
Oops.
yeah.
Now that they've been reminded of it, it's going to be even worse that they're going to probably leave it hanging
I
again.
know that's well, because they had funny expressions when they mentioned
Yeah,
that, but they
it was
also kind of looked
amazing.
like they still didn't give a shit.
Well, it was a very guilty look, especially on Dean's face. Like, oops. Like, oh my fuck, we did that. But
But that's
yeah,
the
I
thing,
don't
they're not gonna
feel
do.
like the show's going to go there, obviously. So
Yeah.
it's just, it's worse for them.
Yeah, like I said before, the only way they're gonna redeem that is if it turns out he's some villain behind it all.
Yeah,
You know.
I really hope that's how it goes at this point.
Yeah, honestly, I would be perfectly content if that was what they did with him.
They need to replay that scene when he comes back too, where it's just like, I can get one of them, Sam or Adam, Sam.
They should do a previously on and then they recap that and then they recap the play. Who's that, Adam?
Oh.
And then they play their comedy music. They get Adam out of hell in a comical episode. Dean, what do you think you're doing? We gotta go down to hell, Sammy. It's the second door on the
You've been
left.
there, it's really easy. It's
It's
probably
the,
just down one of the first doors once you get in.
oh, he was in one of the executive suites in hell. He was having a
Oh,
good time there.
yeah. Oh, I gotta go past purgatory. Hey, Benny, what's up? Oops.
Actually, Adam Adam's been hanging out in the basement of hell with Crowley. He's looking out the window, so sometimes he gets to crack it open and look outside. So it's been fine. They really don't need to get at him. Well, I think that's a wrap for this time.
Yep.
More disappointment next week. Bye.